Welcome to the Let's Talk Data podcast series presented by SAP, where we explore game-changing technology and strategies with leading experts with the goal of maximizing the value of data across your organization. If you haven't done so already, please follow or subscribe to our podcast on your favorite channel to stay tuned in.
Hello, everyone. My name is Pam Barrowcliffe, and I am with the SAP Data and Analytics Marketing and Solution Management team here at SAP. For today's episode of Let's Talk Data podcast, we're going to talk about the value of data in context, especially the value of SAP data in context. I will be joined today by Carol Clarke, VP of Global Customer Office at SAP, as well as Buntic Georgian, VP of Analytics from Applexus Technologies. So Carol, we're here to talk about data in context and why it is important. But first, how are organizations losing or missing the context of their data?
A very good question, Pam, and thank you for asking. Many of our customers are struggling to choose vendors that will actually help them maximize the value of data and improve overall costs. Data, however, when it's removed from its business application, it then strips that context. It loses its business blueprint and value. Metadata and semantics are lost. So customers themselves or expensive consultants that they contract with need to then architect in other tools for data extraction, data preparation, integration, quality. That effort usually makes up about 80% of typical analytics projects. So manually recreating the business application layer without the benefit of metadata or the semantics from those business applications, and also without the instructions or guarantees. So this eats away at that perceived cost savings they received from perhaps the cloud vendor that was providing a cheaper data storage option. Conversely, what's important and what SAP is looking at, SAP solutions have native understanding of SAP application data and the models. So this preserves the business context and the meaning of the SAP application data. That saves customers time and money, as well as the risk of having to rebuild all that business application semantic from scratch. And even though SAP data does not account for the majority of data enterprise, it is critical SAP business processes that's running the customer's business. And that data, as well as the semantics, are required to also enrich other data sources that are non-SAP data sources to actually provide insight into decisions that drive business outcomes across the enterprise.
Awesome. Okay. So what's the most common reason SAP application customers have context issues with their SAP data?
It's pretty much the desire to connect SAP data and non-SAP data. So whether that data is in other applications, on-premise cloud, or in hyperscaler environments, or in competitive technologies, customers believe that the solution is to dump SAP data into a data lake. And if we look at what the issues are with that, first of all, a data lake as an architecture is not for mission critical data. So not only does the SAP data lose valuable context to help with insights, it is not very beneficial then to also combine with other data sources to enrich that data to actually understand decisions and make more intelligent decisions for the business. It also creates governance issues, latency, security issues, because multiple copies of data is in motion and without that context. And it also takes a significant amount of time to recreate. Once you get that data into a data lake from SAP applications, you have to have expert knowledge and resource assistance to be able to understand what was extracted, that schematic information, all of that detail about the metadata. So you have to be able to reconstruct that, which is very time consuming, And you have to deal with things that are just very challenging, let alone the other data sources that you're dumping into the data lake. Buntic, do you want to add your perspective on that?
Sure, Carol. I think you framed it really well. And just to add to that, what I see is that many of our customers believe that they need to bring data to the technology. However, what we learned is that technology needs to be brought to the data and the business processes. Just to share an example of of one of our customers who embarked on a major digital transformation program. This customers spend almost 2 years dumping data from S4HANA into a data lake with the main objective of standing up a one-stop platform for all data. After spending a lot of time and effort in recreating the business logic and context of the SAP data, the customer realized that they have created a very complex analytics solution, which stands on its own, decoupled from the core business processes. Now, complex because now they had to deal with all the data reconciliation issues, multiple versions of the truth, and then most importantly, they have to now maintain a large IT presence to manage this solution, support this solution. So unfortunately, they did not realize the ROI they were expecting from this initiative. Also, one thing I personally observed from customers following this path of downloading data from SAP systems into an external data lake is that the increasing gap between insights and actions or decisions. In my view, if your decision or action is in support of a business process, then to maximize the value of the data, the insight should be aligned closer to the business process. So by taking data away from the core business processes, stripping it out of all context, and recreating the context in another application, we are decoupling data and insights from the business processes. The end result is that the analytics is then consumed in hindsight and not necessarily to drive decisions, thus making the data less valuable and relevant to the business decisions being made. So having the data and analytics solutions that understand the data's context helps our customers get contextualized and personalized insights that are needed to make timely decisions in support of their business processes.
Great. Interesting. This innovation in technology is amazing, but taking a technology first approach to your data definitely doesn't seem like the right way to go. You really have to focus on that data first. So what is the better approach for an SAP customer to take to retain the context of their SAP data? Carol?
Customers really need a unified approach to data and analytics. And unified, I mean across, all enterprise data sources, regardless of the vendor or the application. SAP provides a platform which offers direct real-time connections into the SAP application data. That real-time information then can be modeled along with non-SAP data, and that's via out-of-the-box connectors to all different non-SAP data sources, regardless of where they sit, on which platform, on-premise or on the cloud. When you have that ability, you're then able to look at this data across the enterprise, and you have the capability then to analyze, report, plan without the need to extract or move the data to other technologies, thus preserving the trusted business context. Buntic, what do you see?
Sure, if I may chime in here. So for our customers who have implemented ECC and S4, the approach that we recommend is to design the data and analytics solutions as an extension of the ERP. For instance, right, for S4 HANA customers, the big opportunity is there to extend the S4 HANA digital core with data warehouse cloud and SAP analytics cloud solutions, thus bringing in data, analytics, planning, and predictive insights into a unified data and analytics environment. Some of the key benefits of this approach would be a simpler data footprint. Now you're not moving around data that much. You're keeping data closer to where the data reside, the transactions reside. So with that increased trust in data, consistent and end user interface, and most importantly, this allows the customers to bridge the gap between insights and actions by keeping the data closest to where data and insights closer to where business decisions are made. Now for sure, there will be specific use cases that will drive a need for data lakes. In that case, we look at either BWC or HANA Cloud as the data lake, or even other hyperscalers, right? Other data lake products out there. So it is very common to see hybrid platforms where SAP data analytics solutions coexist with non-SAP data lake platforms as well. So in these scenarios, the SAP data and analytics solution can drive data and insights to support all SAP business processes. And the data lake platform can then support use cases that require predominantly non-SAP data, such as, say, manufacturing process control data or unstructured data, customer sentiment analysis or web data, and so forth. So taking this approach, customers can get a best of both worlds in this hybrid environment, maximizing the value of both SAP data as well as the non-SAP data.
Excellent. So Buntic, you at Applexus, you've innovated many data and analytics environments using SAP solutions. What are some of the business outcomes of the customers who have implemented this better approach?
So one of the biggest outcomes that we see with our customers is that by bridging this gap between insights and action and pushing contextualized insights to the business users, our customers are now able to drive increased data-driven decision making across the organization. So that's the biggest outcome that we see, because that's an area that organizations have struggled quite a bit, right? Although you have in all these data platforms, the adoption has been a biggish challenge because again, going back to how data and insights are decoupled, right? Now bringing it all together into a common, common solution. I think that's an outcome that we see, a very positive outcome. See now. We see more, organizations that have gone down this path have been able to drive more data-driven decision making. Now, another outcome, big outcome that we see is around, business self-service and agility. So a lot of solutions that we see in the market claims to enable self-service in visualizations or building dashboards, right? However, the reality is that self-service in data and analytics exists at two levels. One is that self-service visualization, and that you see a lot of tools and products that support that. But the other aspect of self-service is self-service data modeling, the ability to acquire data, ability to harmonize data, and then transform data and in a self-serve manner, right? That's a self-serve data modeling. I think that is where this solution, the Data Warehouse Cloud and SAC, is unique in that respect, as it addresses both these needs. So it goes beyond the classical analytics platforms and brings IT and business together on a single platform. So with the ability to balance IT governance and controls with the business agility and self-service. So what we see with this kind of an approach, with this solution, is that the line of businesses are happy. They have the flexibility to access, acquire, harmonize data, make more meaningful reports and insights without too much dependency on IT. And IT, on the other hand, they are happy because now they can focus on technology and more strategic initiatives and focus on delivering a DNA environment that with a better governance and compliance, all in the end leading to timely and better insights to make decisions with impact. One another problem that I see with most organizations is the proliferation of departmental siloed data marts, where each department will download data from the enterprise systems and build their own BI, right, within their own departments, leading to multiple versions of the truth. So our customers who have implemented BWC and SAC, what we are seeing is that they are successfully being able to create one data foundation for all data sources. So they are able to now embrace all the data silos in their organization to one enterprise solution, and making it easily accessible to different lines of businesses and users. And this has really unlocked the potential of data in many ways, right? Easy access to trusted data, single version of the truth, thus enabling more data-driven outcomes for the customer.
Excellent. Thank you for sharing that, Buntic. I'd like to thank both of you for joining me today for this great conversation on, the value of data with context. I'm sure our listeners would like to learn a little bit more about what SAP Data and Analytics Solutions have to offer. They can do so by visiting sap.com/analytics. And have a great day, everyone. Take care.
We hope you enjoyed the podcast. Check out the show notes for additional links to information. And please subscribe or follow to join us on the next episode of Let's Talk Data presented by SAP.